Have you ever wondered where the television signal you are watching is coming from?
Welcome to True North.
Good evening and welcome to Maine Watch.
Welcome to From the Vault, a celebration of 60 years of Maine public television. Well, late August is blueberry season throughout Maine and Atlantic Canada. The Machias Wild Blueberry Festival is back August 19th through the 21st after a couple of years off. And maybe you're wondering what to make with your load of local berries. We've got you covered with this week's episode as we go back to 2003 for a couple episodes of the cooking series, What's for Suppah? Local chef Cheryl Wickson and Maine's favorite humorist Tim Sample served up lots of locally sourced food in this 13-part series, with Cheryl's take on some classic Maine dishes and Tim adding his dash of humor and visiting many locations where the food came from. In our first episode, it's all about blueberries. Cheryl will show Tim how to make a delicious blueberry crisp and more after he returns from a visit with a Downeast blueberry legend, Sanford Kelly in Jonesport. In our second episode, we enjoy a bean feast with Cheryl's bean and sausage stew, while Tim visits the annual River Drivers Supper in Lincoln, famed for their bean whole beans. Perhaps you made it to their 74th annual supper held just a few weeks ago. Now, both Cheryl and Tim are still out there doing their things. You can find Cheryl down in Stonington at Rabbit Hill Farm, where she has lots of local offerings and events, including an upcoming Perfect Popover pop-up on August 18th. Now, that does require reservations, so to learn more, check out her website at CherylWicksonsKitchen.com. And Tim can be found performing throughout the state. Check out what he is up to and his Maine humor store at timsample.com. All right, prepare to get hungry. Let's go back to 2003's What's for Suppah?
Production of What's for Suppah? Beans, Blueberries, and Beyond on Maine PBS is made possible in part through a television demonstration grant from Rural Development, part of the USDA.
Hey, Cheryl. Yeah, how are you? Hey, folks, welcome to What's for Supper. Now, Cheryl, speaking of What's for Supper, I brung you some blueberries. You got any good ideas?
Well, I just happened to be making this pie shell, and we could make a blueberry crisp pie.
Sounds good. Yeah.
And how about some grilled duck breast with a wild blueberry sauce?
Now, that sounds marvelous, and I got to tell you, I went down to Washington County, met a fellow named Sanford Kelly down there, and he's got a blueberry outfit, and boy, that's the place to go if you're searching for supper. Now, when you're talking about Maine wild blueberries, you're talking about Washington County, and we're here at Rockdale Farm to talk to a fellow by the name of Sanford Kelly, who will tell us everything we always wanted to know about blueberries but didn't know who to ask. Mr. Sanford Kelly.
Yes, Jim, it's a great pleasure for us to have you at Rockdale Farm on a lovely day.
Well,
and we're so glad you're here to pick blueberries.
Well, it's awful nice to meet you. Your reputation precedes you. You're a famous Maine blueberry grower. Tell me a little bit how you got into this whole blueberry business.
Well, I was kind of born into it, you know.
Yeah.
When I was 4 or 5 years old, I went out raking blueberries with my mother and father out on the ledges here where there's very few blueberries and a lot of bear.
Yeah, a lot of bears.
Yeah, a lot of bear. And that's why I decided to stick to this local stuff down here where we have a lot of blueberries and pretty scenery and and meet a lot of nice people too.
I've got to tell you, Sanford, these are beautiful, beautiful looking blueberries. And there's a lot of them. Give me an idea. This is a blueberry rake.
Yeah, this is a blueberry rake.
Didn't they used to have wooden ones in the old days?
Well, I think they might have started out with those, but that's been a long time. And this is the new design by the Hubbard Rake Company up in Bay here. But let me show you how this works.
Yeah, please do.
You know, and there's...
I'm going to eat this blueberry to start with.
What we're doing in the industry is trying to really go back to basics.
Yep.
You know, we pick very carefully.
Now look at that.
Very carefully.
Kind of a gentle...
And then we slice the blueberry off. We don't rip it off.
All right. I'm impressed already.
Now, maybe you'd like to try that.
Yes, I'll give it a shot. I did work one time when I was a youngster, and that's what that kind of scared me. So I went into show business. This one's over here. I'm after them now.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting after them. This is kind of a challenge. Look at that, huh? Slick as a cup of custard.
And tip the rake up and slice it back towards you. Well, there's some very, very significant changes taking place. So things are getting mechanical.
Yeah.
I think you just rake some blueberries, and you do that all day long, you're going to find your back is going to hurt a bit. And,
Yeah, well imagine.
And your muscles are going to hurt a bit.
Yeah.
So through some development work, we have a machine now that is going to hopefully harvest this type of crop. And we are very fortunate because today is the first day we're going to try it out.
You're kidding me.
We're going to let you operate it.
You're going to let me operate it?
Operate it,
On the
yeah.
first day. The first day they're going to let me operate it. See the prestige that comes with having this type of show? It's amazing. That's great.
Yeah,
Okay, do
we'll
I have
start.
to do something here? I need a training session.
Buzz, why don't you...
All right. Now,
This is
your
my
name
son.
is?
Sanford Kelly III.
You are the third.
Yes.
Sanford Kelly. We got multiple generations here. Let's give it a shot.
This machine can do an awful lot to change the industry, and particularly for the small grower. It can, because the hand raking is getting to be hard to come by.
Yeah.
And this machine will harvest many, many pounds of blueberries in a day.
All right, now let me just tell you something, Sanford. This is a slick way to do this, but you know, I told Cheryl I'd get us some blueberries, and I feel like it wouldn't be kosher if I didn't do it the old-fashioned way. Can you show me again? Give me a little chance to do some old-fashioned blueberry raking.
Let's go over and try it again with this hand rake.
All right, we'll do that. Then I'll feel like I'm doing the right thing. Laid in a blueberry field. Oh. One for Cheryl. Two for me. One for Cheryl. Three for me. Hey, let's see. Hey, they told me if I brung these in here that you could winnow them.
Yep, we can do that here.
Well, how's that work?
Well, first we pour the box onto the conveyor belt up here.
Okay. So far, so good.
Yep. Then the berries are brought into this machine, which blows all the leaves and the twigs out, and they go up, and then they come into this basket.
The hot air blows the twigs into here.
Yep.
Then what happens?
Then they go onto the grater belt.
Okay, the grater belt. Now I see. They fall down, the little ones.
Yeah, all the small berries will fall through the cracks,
Now,
and then they
you're
go
going
into
to
that
load the
box.
small berries here. What do you do with them?
Those are the juice berries.
All right,
They become blueberry juice. Yep.
All right, that is good. And now, what about this next thing?
It's the tilt belt, and all the berries that are clustered, they'll fall off the edge because they can't roll down.
Now, then what happens next?
Then they go on to the belt for the final picking.
Oh, you had it work here. I come to disrupt your whole day here. What makes a good blueberry? Is this a good one?
Yes.
That's
no
a good.
spin in it.
No stem.
No stem.
Big, plump, juicy.
Yeah.
We don't want the little purple ones. They go out of there, and them green ones, we get rid of them. Now, you got an opinion on that? You think Cheryl? Now, you know Cheryl's back in the kitchen. She cooks. I just dub around. But don't you think she'd like a whole bunch of these?
I should think she would.
I would think she would too. And if I've done my part and
Well,
bring
she
these
should
back
do
to the
hers.
kitchen, that's what she should do hers. Cheryl, I got your berries and I'm coming back in.
So tell me, Tim, just how difficult was it to harvest those blueberries?
Well, I want to tell you something, Cheryl. It was a lot closer to work than what I'm used to. I really was. But I've done the hard part. I got the blueberries. Now we're here. What do we do with them?
Let's make a pie.
Works for me.
All right, let's flour. You can
Put the
add
flour in there.
Yep.
That's the easy part so far.
So far.
Yes.
Little sugar.
I love it. How about a little more sugar? A little more than we usually have.
Some cinnamon.
All right, cinnamon in a blueberry pie.
And I have some
Go ahead and dump it in there.
allspice.
Yeah.
And cloves.
Yeah, I got allspice, clove.
How about you can grate the nutmeg?
No, that is a
Isn't
nutmeg grater.
That's right. Nice,
Yes.
fresh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
All
Perfect.
right, just right. Now that is a
Now, if you would
slick
just
thing.
mix that around a little
I
bit.
shall mix it up.
All right.
Gosh, I have to run right out and get a nutmeg grater for over to my place, you know.
All right. Now we're gonna you scrape that butter in.
The whole thing?
Yep. Yep.
Watch this. Flip it right overboard. All right.
All right. You don't need now.
Oh,
We're gonna
yeah.
use a pastry blender
Now
here.
we're moving to the heavy artillery, folks, on this one. A pastry blender. Now, what are we looking for consistent texture here?
Well, I like to say the consistency of like peas or
Oh.
a coarse cornmeal.
Okay, so you really want to, well, that's hard to mix up.
You
there.
really want to mix it in. Well, if the butter is at room temperature,
Yeah.
it helps a little.
Okay, so this is a little chili. Well, we're not making chili, folks. Don't go out and start getting.
Well, you know,
Yeah, I'm going to use my finger.
that's perfectly all right.
Oh
so.
boy, this is exciting. And what are we looking for? The consistency
See,
of smushed up peas? All right, I like that.
Coarse cornmeal.
Cornmeal.
All right.
All right.
Coarse peas. All right. That looks almost perfect. Now this is what's
Can
going
I
to make.
sing a couple of Neil Diamond songs while I'm doing this? That kind of break up the monotony?
I don't think so.
Oh, this is fun. Okay.
All right,
go on.
I've got this.
It's getting there.
It's getting
Let
there.
me just get a little bit more because look, it's looking to me like cornmeal, sort of. A little bit like cornmeal.
Actually, it's looking like butter and cinnamon and sugar.
Yeah, but no, look, it is. I am getting
You're
it.
getting it.
Now, is it because the butter was a little chilly?
That's correct. That's
I
right.
took it out of the fridge a little. I should have taken it out earlier.
That's right.
Oh,
Good.
let's see. Okay.
It's perfect. That's the crisp.
Okay.
Now,
I didn't have to
These
dig
blueberries-
Neil Diamond out after all. Okay.
that you so carefully harvested for us.
Yes, I did carefully harvest
Why
them.
don't we put them in the pie shell that I made
Okay,
earlier?
put them right in that
Put
pie
right
shell
in that
over
pie
here.
shell.
Let's schlep it right over here.
All right. Dump them
Okay,
right in.
Just,
the whole thing, the whole quart. Yep.
okay.
And I'm assuming you picked them over.
Oh,
and there's
yes,
no
these are
stems.
carefully picked over.
All right.
Look at- Oh, don't they look good, though? Look at that color. Oop, escapees. Weep, weep, weep. Wait a minute. There's one little thing.
One
You
ste-
didn't
is
want
that a stem?
Just one.
Just
One. Out of all those. Didn't I do good?
You did great. Now,
For a
I'm going to
non-professional?
add our topping,
Okay.
the top of the blueberries.
Now, that all goes on.
Well, what I'm going to ask you to do now is to kind of like take this and pat it down.
Yeah. Okay, because this really is a little different than what I would think of for a pie because it's doesn't have a pie crust top.
No, it doesn't. Actually, when this cooks up, it's going to be melt in your mouth.
Ah, I bet it will be because
It has
you
butter.
butter. Well, we all know I'm really onto that butter. Okay, how's that?
That's looking good. Now pat it down just a little bit. So there's no sugar on the blueberries that we started, so you want it just to sift down a little bit
Like
in
that.
there.
Pat it down.
Yep, just like that.
Not really ram it
All right.
like a mallet or anything, but just sort of pat
Gently
it
pat it down. All
there.
right.
Da-da-da-da-da.
I think it's ready for the oven.
That looks good. All right, now I'll put this in the oven like this. Coming around behind you.
Can you get
Watch
the dough
this.
up?
Sure. Put this in the top shelf.
Top shelf.
All right, we'll put that on the top shelf.
400-degree oven to start.
Okay, 400 to start. Now, when that's all done, after cooking how long, Cheryl?
Oh, about 50 minutes.
All right, then when that's all done, what you have is a beautiful blueberry crisp pie with Maine blueberries. Now, Cheryl, let's say somebody wanted to make one of these blueberry crisp pies. What would they need for ingredients?
1 10-inch unbaked pie shell, 1 quart of Maine blueberries picked by Tim, 1/2 cup butter, 1 cup sugar, 3/4 cup flour, 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon cloves, 1/4 teaspoon allspice, and freshly ground nutmeg.
Now, while I got you right here, I just got to tell you something. Now, when I was a kid, we're talking about blueberries and cooking with blueberries. When I was a kid, people in Maine, growing up in Maine, people would talk about hothouse blueberries. And they would do it with some kind of a sense of panic, like, oh my goodness, you wouldn't have any of those hothouse blueberries. It was like a hothouse. And you know, as a little kid, I had this mental image. What is happening to these poor blueberries? They're in a hothouse. It's like a sweatshop for blueberries. Some kind of terrible thing. Now, I don't know really. I suppose a hothouse blueberry is probably, you know, fairly okay. But maybe I'm scarred from childhood. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to stick with them nice little wild Maine blueberries. Hey, Cheryl, now we got something elaborate going here now?
Oh, we do. We're going to make some grilled duck breasts with a Maine wild blueberry sauce.
All right, I'm ready to begin. Where do you want me to start?
Let's start with making the sauce. Okay? So the first thing is we're going to cook up some aromatics.
Okay, you want me to crank up this here
Crank
stove
up the
here?
heat, yep.
Okay, which one is this?
I think it's the other one.
The other one?
Nope, it's the other one.
Well,
Oh, you got it.
I got
Perfect.
It there. All right, good try. We got her.
And I'm going to be adding some chicken stock.
Okay.
All right. And then our aromatic vegetables.
Now, aromatic, that's because they have a nice scent to them, is that
They have
the
a
idea?
smell and they add to the complexity of the sauce. That's
All right.
celery, carrots,
Virtually everything seems to add to my complexity.
onions, chopped onions,
chopped up there.
and some thyme.
All right.
All right.
Now,
Get a spoon.
You get me a spoon. I'll do my best to give that a little few stirs to
Now-
get that going.
What we'd like to do is to bring this to a boil and reduce it by 1/2.
Yes.
In other words, cook it down.
Right.
So the flavors will concentrate.
Precisely.
Okay. But what I've done here is I've done that already for us.
Comes
See,
Is that reduced?
That's
You call it
reduced.
reducing that?
Exactly, reduced.
So in the interest of time, we've got this already brought down. And you can see one thing I noticed. Look, they plump up a little bit. Those.
So why don't we take this and strain it
You're the boss, Cheryl. We will strain this right over here.
into that.
Right into this
Right.
big green bowl.
And we're going to use this as the
Wait a minute, let
basis
me
of
sure I
our
get that.
sauce.
Okay. Now, should I smush and mush
No,
over
you're
here?
fine. That's perfect. We
Just,
don't need
it's
to do
already
any-
strained.
Right.
Okay.
Put that-
Straining credulity here.
Put that right into our saucepan.
Okay, I will. We'll pour that in here.
And I'm going to put the heat on.
Good idea.
Now, what's giving this our flavor is a combination of a blueberry jam
Okay.
and fresh blueberries, okay? So we'll start with a little heat. We want to bring this up to a boil.
Yeah.
And I have a little red wine
Yeah.
here that I'll add.
Oh, yeah, it's got a beautiful color.
Doesn't
there.
that add a
Looks
nice
like
color?
1967 in Haight-Ashbury when you first put that in there.
Okay. And then I have some blueberry jam, so you
All
can
right.
just add that
May
and stir
I?
it.
That's what I'll do. I'll stir in the blue. Oh, it's heating right up here.
Now, you know, blueberries are a marvelous fruit,
Yes,
and they have some great health benefits to us.
I had no idea.
Oh,
really.
they're antioxidants.
They are.
Yes, which means that when you eat them,
Yes.
they run around in your body and eat up the free radicals
Uh-huh.
that cause cancer.
It is like 1967 in Haight-Ashbury, really, with the free radicals and everything. But no, but they really are.
They're a very healthy
They're
fruit.
healthy. Now, I have some blueberries. This is just cooking up a storm.
Yeah, I want to get this sauce. We want to get it like a syrupy consistency.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to get.
Okay, we're
here.
trying for that. Should I just keep...
Just let it boil,
Okay,
right?
let it boil.
Let it
I do
boil.
have some blueberries, some actual Maine.
Some fresh blueberries. I don't want
Right
to add
over
them till quite the end because I don't want them to cook too much.
Timing is everything,
All right.
even with free radicals.
Now, the second part of this recipe
Yes?
is actually going to be grilling some duck breasts.
Oh, you know what? I know what that means. We get to use that
We
grill
get to
here.
use the fun toys that
About
you like to
burnt the
use.
place down last time, didn't I? I can't wait to have another shot at it. Okay.
All right. So what I think I'm going to do is let's move this
Okay.
sauce to this burner up here.
Because that is a honking burner.
And then you can add, a handful of those blueberries that you so
Okay.
carefully
Now, I
harvested.
have a fairly large hand, so maybe this is... Okay, we're going to go one handful there. Like that?
Yep, even more. Go
A
ahead.
few more.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, this is fun. Man, I'm spilling them all over everything. Yeah, you'll have to break a few blueberries if you're going to make a
Beautiful.
blueberry duck
That's-
breast.
Now,
What am I making here?
you're making
I'm
grill.
having fun. Are you
We're
having
gonna
fun?
grill the duck.
Oh, we are going to grill the
All
duck.
right, so I think the best thing to do is for you to start the grill.
Okay.
And you know
So-
how you like to do the spray?
I love to do that spray. That's really one of the things I know is clicking, and there's the heat is going there.
Yep.
All right. Now.
I'll stand back while
Yes,
you...
please do, because folks, this is really the most important part of the whole operation here. There we go.
Oh, perfect.
Smoke her right up. Smoke them if you got them. All right. And
You can take our duck breasts.
I have tongs.
All right, and my
For this very
recommendation
purpose.
is that we start and we cook. There's two sides to our duck breast.
Yes.
Okay. This side with the skin has a lot of fat in it.
Okay.
So what I usually like to do is I like to cook this side first and then
Yes.
turn it over and cook the side with the fat.
You have imparted that information to me, and I shall do my best. Put it there with the lean side down.
That's right.
Not with the skin. The skin is up. Okay.
All right.
How's that?
That looks very good. Very
Looking
nice.
good. Okay. That grill heats up pretty fast.
Right, and I think, how's our sauce doing? Why don't
Good.
you give it a little stir?
Give it a little stir.
See how
Oh, it's boiling. Holy mackerel.
So it's going to reduce down and get to be a nice syrupy consistency.
Who's washing the pots and pans? Because this one's going to get good.
Not me.
No, I'm not either. I didn't sign on for that. That's not my contract.
That's not part of the deal.
No, it certainly isn't.
And I have some duck breasts right here
Okay.
that I've already cooked.
Oh, yeah, those look great.
So if you could maybe put them on the cutting board and we'll show people
Okay.
how we are going to serve
Go
them.
like this. Once again, if you have tongs, use them, I say. Now, wait a minute. How about putting a little of that
Oh,
in
that's excellent suggestion.
Yeah?
That adds nice little duck flavor to our
there?
sauce.
Use it up, wear it out, make it do, or
Yeah,
do
I'm
without.
going to pick up the blueberries that escaped.
Yes, escaped blueberries.
Convicts, escaped
yeah.
convicts.
Now, I'm slicing these, Cheryl?
Thin slices on the diagonal, right?
Okay, on the diagonal. Now, like
Oh, perfect.
like that?
Very nice. Yep.
All
Little,
right.
maybe a little thicker.
a little thicker. Well, I was in a restaurant once, and I seen this happen.
You have that's a geez,
Yeah.
those are cooked perfectly too.
All right, yeah. Well, there we go. Okay. Like
Yeah,
that? Am
That's
I-
very nice.
Okay.
And we'll arrange them on our platter.
Because one thing I have to say, Cheryl, that I admire about you is the way these things in the final analysis, boy, even though I'm doing the stabbing and grabbing and sliding around, they come out looking pretty darn sharp.
Well, you know, you eat with your eyes.
That's
9/10
true.
of what you do is
It's nice how that looks
how it
at the
looks.
final analysis. Okay. Now, wait a minute. There. Do I keep that?
That's perfect. Now,
Yeah,
can we
off
just
the
lay
end there.
those right on
Yep, yep.
on
how's
our
this?
platter? Well, you know what?
Use your fingers there.
I think so.
That's right.
Let's just go just like that.
Okay. Oh, there. How nice is that? See? Beautiful.
Just lovely. All right.
Would you like me to put a few more?
Yeah, just a couple more.
Just a few more. Okay.
Perfect.
Da-da-da-da.
That's good.
Trying
That's
to think
good.
of a good duck song, but I can't think of any really. Probably
Now,
just as
now that
well.
our sauce has gotten to this nice consistency,
Now you've got the, oh yes, yes, yes. I see there's a method in your madness. Because you're going to put the sauce
I'm going to put a little sauce
right on top
right
of
on
there.
top.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make sure that we get some of our fresh blueberries.
Okay. Wow.
How are we looking?
Very good.
Ooh, yeah, look at those nice.
And the blueberries are kind of cooked in there a little
Right,
bit.
but we didn't cook them totally,
Not
so they
that-
still maintain their
Yes.
pretty shape.
Okay.
All right. So there we have grilled duck breasts with Maine wild blueberry sauce.
All right, now, Cheryl, somebody's making grilled duck breast with Maine wild blueberry sauce. What do they need for ingredients?
2 11-ounce duck breasts with the skin on, 1/4 cup chopped onion, 1/4 cup chopped carrots, 1/4 cup chopped celery, 4 sprigs of fresh thyme, 2 cups chicken stock, salt and fresh pepper, 1 cup of Maine wild blueberries, 1/3 cup blueberry jam or preserves, 1/4 cup red wine.
Well, Cheryl, we got us a sumptuous repast here.
Yes,
Maine blueberries.
wouldn't you like to try a little of our grilled duck breast?
Yes, I'd like to try that.
All
Thank
right,
you,
there
dear.
you go.
Yeah.
And I'll try just a bit.
Now, and this is not only good, it's good for you.
That's right.
Yeah, we got that antioxidant thing. Now, I got to try this. Just perfect. Perfect. Kind of. That's the entree. And I got to try some of this blueberry
Try
pie.
our dessert.
Yeah. With the crumbly crumbs. How's that grab you?
Oh, I love that crisp. Very nice.
Don't even have to have any ice cream on there, folks. Thanks an awful lot for joining us. Come back and see us again. We're going to finish up here. Nice, nice crumbs on there.
You can pick me wild blueberries anytime.
Yeah, I might just have. I doubt if it'll be genuine.
Production of What's for Suppah? Beans, Blueberries, and Beyond on Maine PBS is made possible in part through a television demonstration grant from Rural Development, part of the USDA.
Hey, nice to see you. Happy you could join us, and we'll get right to it, Cheryl. The question on everybody's mind is, what's for supper?
Spicy black bean dip, and a 13-bean and sausage stew.
Well, that's enough beans for you. 13 beans. Well, I got to tell you, I had quite a lot of fun. I got a chance to go out and actually meet a fella out in the back roads of Maine who grows beans, all sorts of beans. And after that, we went down to the River Drivers' Supper in Lincoln, Maine, where they cook them beans and eat them beans. And that's where we went, searching for supper. Well, we're up here. It's a marvelous day in Lincoln, Maine, right by the river, which is appropriate because we're here at the River Drivers Festival, and this fella Harley Sproul, are you the man I'm looking for?
That is right. I'm the guy.
Godfrey, I've heard you know about all there is to know about bean-hole beans.
Well, I've been at it over 30 years now.
Have you really?
I have a pretty good idea what's going on.
Well, why don't you, let's walk up to where the bean-holes
we'll
are.
do that.
You've been doing this for 30 years.
Yeah.
Same bean-hole pots?
Yes, same pots. They're all cast iron.
Hey, huh?
And we put 19 pots in the ground.
19 of them?
Yes. And we put them in last night at 6:30.
Oh, so you've been prepping for this, Robert. Boy, that's harder than the hinges of Hades.
Yes,
What's this there for?
This is for our biscuit baking process.
Wow.
You can see biscuits are baking over there, and we're getting more to go in pans that will go in these bakers.
Right in here?
Yeah. And we bake
and then you put them on the top of that pieces of sheet metal?
No, right in front.
Right in front? Oh, yeah, they're opening it.
Yeah.
Son of a gun.
And that heat is reflected here and does the baking for us.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Now, how long of a tradition is this in the state of Maine? Do you know when they started making bean-hole beans in Maine?
I would say back in 1850. In fact, years ago, the river drivers used to camp in this field here at night when they were running logs down the river.
Now, folks, in case you didn't know, the river drivers, of course, we're talking about logging in the state of Maine. River drivers, fellows going down there with their PVs.
That's true.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And over here, that's quite a sight there.
This is where we have our beans all underground right now, but
and they're cooking?
In a few minutes, yes.
How do you, what are you heating them with? Electric coils?
Not quite. No, a hardwood that we burned at 3:15 yesterday afternoon, and we put our beans in at 6:30. We got done about 8:30.
You got the timing right down, and that must be an important part of it.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and actually this morning they were already baked, having been put in last night at 8:30. We could have had them for breakfast, but we leave them in the ground until 3 or 3:30 this afternoon, and we'll take them out and give them to the public.
Now, is that extra few hours, Cheryl, who is the chef, of course, on the show, she's always talking about food flavors marrying. Is that what they're doing?
Not really, no. They're just staying there being kept to a temperature that's just right for eating.
The product that comes out of this thing is a kind of a unique Maine thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, yellow eye and pea beans are not known in the rest of the country that well.
Because you tell people from away that you're going to a bean-hole bean supper, if they're not from Maine, a lot of them will have any idea.
No.
The question I have is, you got to start, when you're having a bean-hole bean supper, you got to start with the actual bean. Where do you get your beans?
We get them here in Maine, right in Lincoln, in fact, out to Melvin Chester, out on the Clay Road.
Now, Holly tells me, we want to find out about growing beans in the state of Maine, and Holly tells me you're the man to see.
I've grown a few.
Yeah, how long you been growing beans here?
Oh, 45 years.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Now, you're making, if you want a baked bean supper, I know there are a lot of different kind of beans. Tell me what are you looking for? What kind of beans?
I don't know. There's 3 or 4 different kinds. I raised 3 different kinds.
What kind are they?
Yellow eyes, pea beans, and Jacob's cattle.
Which one are which?
Well, the Jacob's cattle are a meaty bean. And the yellow eyes are a bigger bean. The pea beans are just small beans. It's all in anybody's choice.
What's the most popular for a bean supper? For a traditional, like in a bean-hole bean, what would you have there?
Yellow eyes.
Yellow eyes?
Pea beans to take up the slack.
Seems to me like a lot of beans. There's a lot of bean suppers.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think the attraction is of the bean-hole? Do you think it really tastes different when it's in the ground like that?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you?
There's
you
no...
agree with him? Are you with him?
Yes, I am.
And you admit it right without any prompting? Yeah. Yeah, and you think it's different. What do you think makes it different?
Oh, it's all in the preparation. It's the idea of it being in the ground and cooking right overnight.
All overnight, long time.
Absolutely.
Oh, we got good food and lots of people around. Everybody comes out.
Now, how long you been coming to the River Driver Festival?
13 years.
13 years. And you got a good plate load. You got enough donuts on there?
I'm fine.
You're probably all set with donuts. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know why it's traditional to have beans on Saturday night?
No.
Do you know this?
I had them for all my life.
Yeah, everybody knows Saturday night is bean supper night, but why? Well, I'm going to tell you. Because way back, colonial days and like that, see, on the Sabbath day, they wouldn't do any work. You know, they couldn't cook on the Sabbath day. They make a big lot of beans on a Saturday night, eat them all day Sunday. Dear, can I get you some beans? Would you like a piece of pork in there? You don't want none. It's very slimming.
You're supposed to get it on the plate.
Excuse me, Priscilla. I am going to try my very best. I'll try with this one. See if I can get it.
No juice on the plate.
there.
All right, no juice. Right there? Beautiful. All right, would you like a piece of pork?
No, thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time getting the pork. So you're a bean man.
Yeah.
What makes a man a bean man? I want to know that.
I think you got to be raised with them.
Yeah, you can be raised with the beans.
Yeah, raised with that
That's
part of your diet.
That's it. Yeah, and you think you get a craving for it, do you?
Oh yeah, yes. I come over every year for that.
It's good food and the getting all of the family and friends together.
It's kind of a traditional on a lot of
sure
ways,
is.
isn't it?
Yes,
The food is traditional and the community gathering
Right.
together.
Did you find him a seat or his daughter? Coleslaw? Then you don't hear
I'm going to go find that Priscilla, see if I can't get her to dish out some beans. I'm going to make her nervous because I don't want her spilling even a drop on my plate, I'll tell you. Priscilla, the tables have turned. Now we're going to see how you do. All right, now we're going to see if you spill anything. And I want pork on mine, by Godfrey. Look at that. Huh? An expert. And she went all the way across. They're making it easy on you now. Look, she got a piece of pork.
Oh. Is that good?
Oh, you're done good, dear. You're done awful good. You got potato salad, coleslaw, yellow eye beans. What are these, pea beans? Pea beans. Plenty of pork. A lot of pork. We got to move on down here. We got to get biscuits. How you guys doing?
Well, we're gonna get Pete.
Better than the poke in the eye with a sharp stick, ain't it?
You're right there.
Right on.
Boy, I'll tell you. But we got to go back in the kitchen, see what Cheryl's up to, because I'm just having too much fun here.
In the kitchen.
Bam, in the kitchen.
Boy, it sure looked like they were having a lot of fun.
You know, the folks come from all over the place, streaming right in there, get them Maine bean-hole beans right out of the ground. It was fantastic. Very fun, very interesting. So how are we going to proceed here today? We got a dip going?
We have a dip.
This
and
isn't the one with the 13 beans. That comes later.
That's later. This one is the spicy black bean dip.
All right.
Now, you see those black beans over there?
I do see them.
Yep. Why don't you pick one of those babies up?
These here?
Yep.
Teeny weeny little.
Not those?
Yeah.
Look at that. Now, that's dried bean. I soaked overnight.
You soak that
Yes,
yourself?
it was-
Well, you know, they make you work hard here, soaking them overnight. Okay, you soak them overnight.
And then I cooked them up.
Yeah.
All right. And we're going to be using those, this portion of
This is after they've been soaked and cooked. They look
Right.
like now, I get you.
I don't think I'd want to be munching on one of those.
No, I don't think so.
Probably chip a
Crunchy.
tooth. First thing we'll start with is we're going to put some garlic in our food
Okay.
processor.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
like that.
All right. Then maybe some red onion.
Yep.
All right. And I'm going to need some lime juice. Can
I happen
you?
to have a lime right here, Cheryl. Leave that all up to me. And I'll slice this little puppy in half, right there. And
Squeeze
as
it right
usual, the great-looking outfit. We got a color-coordinated. What do you call this? A squeezer?
That's a lime or a lemon squeezer.
Lemon squeezer, lime squeezer, but it's nice and color coordinated to the lime. This is good for your pectoral muscles, I believe.
Actually, that's a green depression glass.
Is it? Yeah, it
that
is,
was my
really.
grandmother's.
You know, now why do they, was it because it was in the Depression or is it because it's got
You know,
depressions in it?
No, actually, those used to come in flour barrels.
No kidding.
Yeah, they were giveaways back then.
I think that's something. And now
All right.
they're worth the big bucks.
All right,
how's
all right.
that?
That's perfect. So set that right over here.
I shall.
Thank you. All right, now if you close up this food processor.
Yes, that's another one of these
All right.
major.
We're going to just pulse this gently.
Help her up. Yep,
Okay, take that off.
yep, easily done.
All right, and I'm going to add our beans.
These are the ones we soaked last night.
Yeah, right. You can also buy these already cooked, pre-cooked in the supermarket in a can. But sometimes I'll make up a big mess of them and then put them in the freezer and use them as we go.
That's another technical term, a mess of beans. A mess of beans.
This is low-fat sour cream.
Oh, good. Will it still be, will I still enjoy it?
I think you still shall, yes.
Yeah, some things low-fat, you still get the flavor, but probably healthier.
Now, this lime juice, do you see any seeds in it when you squeezed it?
I didn't and I don't. I see some pulp.
That's fine. We'll put that right in there. All right. Now we need to pulse that up again.
Pulse her up, so you're going to have to put the cap back on. Here, let me do that. Let me entertain you. The lime juice, that's an interesting thing to have lime with garlic, but it all goes together.
These flavors, you'll find, are going to be very addictive.
Oh, yeah, well, they're married, I imagine.
Cumin.
Okay, this is cumin.
That's right. Now look at that nice, pretty color.
Yeah, it is.
Turns a little purple.
Yeah, quite purpley.
All right, chopped cilantro.
Throw a little cilantro in there.
I can smell that cumin. I know you.
I think we're going to have a pop star here pretty quick named Cilantro. Come on, don't you think that'd be a good name for a pop star? Okay.
One more time. The nice thing about making this dip is all you have to do is put it in the food processor, and that does all the work.
Yeah, that's true. My chopping arm would get tired to get all that in there, so it's kind of got a
all right,
nice
let me, once you get me that plate of vegetables.
Right here. We prepared these. They're interesting vegetables, too, because we got wax beans to dip in the...
Right, yeah.
So it's beans dipped in beans.
All right. I'm going to put this right in here. Now, you can make this up and keep it in the refrigerator for several days.
Gee, it's great looking. And you know that, would you have low-fat sour cream?
Low-fat sour cream?
Yeah, that kind of gives it a kind of a purpley pink, kind of a nice color on that.
All right, there we go. We have spicy black bean dip.
Finest kind, right there. Now, Cheryl, if somebody wanted to make that spicy black bean dip, just the way you made it, what would they need for ingredients?
1 15-ounce can of black beans, or about 1 1/2 cups of cooked black beans, 3 tablespoons low-fat sour cream or yogurt, 2 teaspoons minced garlic, 2 tablespoons fresh lime juice, 1/4 cup chopped red onion, 3/4 teaspoon cumin, and 1/4 cup chopped fresh cilantro.
Now, can we talk here for just a minute? Now, I'm Tim Sample. Of course, the menu here includes beans, so I would certainly be remiss if I would not at least touch upon a certain aspect of this particular menu item. What is it when you tell people that you're having beans for supper, all of a sudden the comments start flying like, oh, don't light a match after supper. Now, we know what we're talking. Why is it? I'm wondering, and I'm just talking, why is it that flatulence and flatulence jokes, which are associated with beans, which have been very, very good to me, I must say, in the last 20 years, why is that such an incredibly pervasive aspect of this particular foodstuff? Well, I believe this. I believe that down through the centuries, you see, that's the one aspect. It doesn't matter if you're a king or a pauper, the same basic physiological response is going to happen everywhere, and it's universal. And that sort of makes people feel like they're part of the human race. And there's many, many lines. Of course, one of my favorites, and I'll kind of leave with this one. Of course, you've got the diner by the side of the road with about 48 gasoline and diesel pumps out front. And then right over the top, for the convenience factor, has a sign up there that says, "Eat here, get gas." Hey there, Cheryl. Yeah, just chatting them up a little bit, I was. Now, are we ready? Where are we doing from here?
Oh, we're going to make a 13 bean and
13
bean and sausage stew.
Wow, sounds like a horror movie. 13 beans, and all these beans. We got them right over here. There's a lot of them.
All of these beans are actually grown right here in the state of Maine.
Wow. That's fantastic. That's interesting. Well, where do we start with this here 13 bean soup?
Well, I think we're going to start in the pot.
Right here, all right.
Take the lid off.
Take that lid off there.
And we'll put some heat on it.
Why not?
And dump in a little olive oil just to coat the bottom.
How much is a little? Just a dite or a dab or a slab or a...
Enough to coat the bottom.
No, yeah, coat the bottom.
Perfect.
Ah, just like that.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Now I have some chopped garlic.
Okay,
that
we'll
we
put
can
some of that in there.
add in.
All of that.
All of that.
Not just some of it.
You know, one of the wonderful things about cooking with beans
Yes.
is that they will absorb a lot of the flavors of the things that you're cooking with.
Yep.
All right? So if you happen to like garlic
Yep.
and the flavor of it, then this is chopped red onion.
Now, beans also, don't they have a huge amount of protein? They're good for you. Beans
Protein.
are really good for
Protein, fiber, oh, they're so good for you.
you. Yeah, fiber. Yeah.
Keeps
That's
you.
good. Yeah, we know about that. Yes, yes, we do. Yes, we do. But you know, the old timers, the hard-working fishermen and farmers and loggers, they always would have a plate load of beans, and you get them really. I think they're really energy food in a certain way.
I love them for Sunday morning breakfast.
There you go. You know, I do kind of like that
There
too.
you go.
I'll
Stir
keep
that.
stirring here
All
while
right.
you.
We're going to add some chopped fresh tomatoes.
They look marvelously fresh.
Now you can also make this with canned tomatoes if you don't happen to have any
You
fresh
could do
around.
that. That's right.
A cup of red wine.
Yeah, right in there. Put it right in there with the garlic and everything. Oh,
All right.
there we go. This is getting it.
And 2 bay leaves.
Put them bay leaves in there, but you don't chew up on them. You kind of pull them out of there,
I
don't you?
think when we're
eventually?
all done, we'll take them out.
You don't
right?
really be chomping on the bay leaves. Chomping on the dock of the bay.
Now we'll bring this to a simmer
Yeah, yeah.
before we add our 13 beans.
Now, 13
Now,
beans. Now,
can
why
you-
13? Do you
Can
know?
you count out those, Minnie?
Oh yeah, I bet I can. Yeah, yeah.
13.
bet.
Why? Actually, because you get a lot of different varieties here, and oftentimes they're sold that way as a 13-bean soup mix.
Yep. Now
So-
this is these haven't been pre-cooked.
No, these are all dried.
They're all dried.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we're going to add
Put them right in there.
our beans.
Now, is this one of these dishes where the more you let it simmer and set, the better it gets, or how do you?
Well, it's going to take about 2.5, 3 hours for the beans to cook. If
Mhm.
you cook it any longer than that, then they'll start turning to mush.
We don't want them to turn to mush.
I
How
have-
much water are you putting in
Well,
there?
it's about 5 cups.
Yeah.
Now-
it's starting to look like soup. All right.
Now, this, as I said, would take 2.5, 3 hours to cook.
Yep.
So we'll put the lid on it and leave it right there.
We have a lid right here. These are nice, heavy.
It's when you're working with beans, I do recommend you use a heavy pot on top of the stove so they don't scorch. Have you ever
Yeah.
had burnt beans?
Yeah, but I have. I don't. But if a burglar comes along, you can smack the burglar, and they get right back to you cooking your beans there too.
All right. Now, I made some beans, 13 beans earlier today.
Made her up ahead of time.
Right.
Give her a little. Marvelous.
So why don't we saute up some sausages? Now,
Okay.
these are some spicy.
And these are spicy.
Spicy. You could use a kielbasa,
And I'm learning how to do this.
the art
This
of
art.
sausage
See,
sauteing.
a regular person that's not a chef type person might just stir them around, but not me. Look at that. How's my technique, Cheryl? Pretty good?
You're getting
All
good.
right.
You know, I have an interesting story about beans.
Yes.
My husband's grandmother
Yeah.
swore that the way you could keep that flatulence,
Keep it down to a
keep it,
minimum.
yeah, is that every 15 minutes when she was baking her beans,
Yeah.
she'd open the oven door to let the gas out.
There you go. It wouldn't work if you had a gas oven, though. That would be the problem
It
right
might
there.
explode. All right. So why don't we take these over here and you slice them up into small
Okay.
pieces
Now
for me.
come out like this.
Yep, perfect.
Kind of stick them and bring them over here.
Right.
All of them.
Yep. Well, why don't you start slicing?
I'll start slicing. You start dicing. Okay.
Cut 'em up into-
Now I need
you
that
need that
back
fork,
again.
don't you?
Yeah. About like this, Cheryl.
Yeah. Well, bite-sized pieces. I'd even do it a little smaller.
Little smaller than that.
Well, it
'cause-
depends upon the size of your mouth.
Well, I
right?
was just going to say I'm famous for having a big mouth, so no wonder I put it twice the size of a. All right, this is looking. Oh, one got away from me there. Yeah, and of course, if the, they're always talking. If the minister's coming over for supper or something, you got to be careful. Have your beano. Now, what about this beano? There's some kind of stuff that you.
It helps the digestive system. There's a lot of fiber in beans. That's why
Yeah.
they're so good for you.
Yeah.
And that oftentimes people's system can't handle that much.
Yep.
So by eating the beano, it provides the enzyme in your system.
There you go, enzymes. Well, now there's also isn't there an ongoing quest in the agricultural community to create a gasless bean? Has that happened yet? Do you know anything about that?
I'm not familiar with that.
It's up there with the 200 mile per hour carburetor, mile per gallon carburetor, I believe. The
Can we-
gasless bean.
I'm going to start scraping some of these.
Yes.
Right?
Are those bite-sized for you?
Those are perfect.
All right.
For your mouth.
Yeah. Oh, come on now.
Now, see, now you've got some nice
All right,
slices
those
there.
are just about right.
Just about perfect, right.
You don't have to tell me more than half a dozen times. I'll tell you, I'm quick. I catch right on. All right, how's that? Spicy these are,
Yeah.
too.
I've tried this soup with an Italian sausage before, too, and it's very good.
Or what we call Italian.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, now, if you want to stir that around.
Sure.
And then we're going to taste it.
Stir it up.
Oh, we got to add some hot sauce and
Oh, yeah,
salt
we
and
got
pepper.
all kind of stuff over here. Okay, now tell me what you want me to add and when.
Let's put a little salt and a little pepper in it.
Okay, we got a little bit of salt, a pinch or two.
A pinch or two. Yeah, you
Okay.
might even need more. I haven't salted it yet at all.
Okay, you do. I'll hold the
Yeah.
salt cellar.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, there's 3 pinches.
All right,
a little bit
crank
of pepper.
pepper over it.
Da, 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 da.
Now, how do you like your heat?
I'm not big on the big spicy
All right.
side
That's
of
good.
things.
That's good on the pepper.
I'm learning a little bit more
How about a little Tabasco?
in my old age. Just a little mite of this.
Hot sauce, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
it's coming.
It's coming a little
That's
bit, but it had to get out of them little bottles there.
All right, and chopped parsley.
Okay, this whole lod?
Yeah, I think
Put
so.
the whole lod right in there.
That's perfect. Stir that right around.
I shall. And the bay leaf is cooking up good.
Well, you know, we can actually take that out.
You take that out. Yeah, use your fingers.
That's my God-given.
That's, I know.
All right, I'm just going to have you.
Do I get to sample it?
Sample.
as they say? Boy, you know, it tastes pretty damn
Is it-
good.
is it all
Yeah.
right? Does it need
yeah,
more
and
salt?
it's not, no, it doesn't need, but you know what? A little more pepper. How's that?
Very good.
I think that's the first time I actually made a real decision
Now,
about
can't
what
you
to
see
put in.
it's on a cold
Oh,
winter night?
yeah, yeah.
Delicious.
It's hearty, and it is a real combination of flavors.
Here we have 13 bean and sausage stew.
Now, Cheryl, for 13 bean and sausage stew, what are folks going to need for their ingredients?
2 cups chopped onion, 3 tablespoons chopped garlic, 1 28-ounce package 13 bean soup mix, or 2 cups of uncooked beans, 2 cups chopped fresh tomatoes, 1 cup red wine, 2 bay leaves, 5 cups water, olive oil, 1 pound spicy sausage or kielbasa, 1/2 cup chopped fresh parsley, salt and fresh pepper to taste, and Tabasco sauce to taste.
Well, Cheryl, from the bean fields of Maine to our table, we got quite a spread here. Would you like to try some of this spicy black bean dip?
Oh, I would love to.
Try it. Muckle right onto one of them things and dip her in there. All right. I'm gonna try a cucumber because I like the color combination with the green and the purple.
Nice bite.
Yeah, nice spicy, kind of spicy. How's that soup?
I like 13 beans in my soup.
Wicked sharp. Well, we're having a nice time here, and we're awful glad you could join us. Come back again, and who knows, we're from beans and beyond, and blueberries and everything else. We're just happy to have you with us. So take care. We'll see you next time. Now, you know, this is something. This is something.